Welcome to the No Hangover podcast.
You can check us out on all our platforms: Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, now with video. Our social media platforms: Instagram at No Hangover Podcast and TikTok _hangover. Enjoy. Bye, Al.
Episode 138. What's up, everybody?
Here we are.
Boom.
Another one.
As always, this is your boy Jacob. That ugly fuck over there is Eric. The guy you can't see behind the mic.
I'm here as well, guys.
Don't let him lie to you. I'm
Good
the best
old
looking
Dennis.
one here.
That is a lie. We should do a live stream poll one day.
That's the question.
No, I mean,
Who's
I
better
just want to.
I mean, I feel like it's just kind of preference. We're two different
yeah.
types of guys.
It's true. Plus, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Sexy don't discriminate.
So I'm sure there's some people that'll be like, "Damn, Jacob looks good," and there's others that'll be like,
Plus, you're all fucking swabbed out right now with the button down and the fucking ripped jeans. And I'm over here in some jorts. And although this logo is very nice,
come prepared.
But yeah, here we are, another episode, another week. Let's get into this shit.
The topic of discussion today, at least the first one.
We already brought in Dennis, right?
Yeah.
The voice.
I'm here.
The voice of reason, the conscience.
This guy doesn't listen to anything.
Sorry.
The first topic today, a British scientist is working on medicine that can make you live till 200 years old.
Like a sea turtle or a tortoise.
What do you think about that?
I think that's stupid. I don't get the point of... Well, before I get into it, does anybody here in this room want to live until 200 years old?
Depends on the quality of life.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I could second that. I guess depends on what I can do. Like, if I can't wipe my own ass, I do not want to live.
Take me out back.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, if the quality of life is that poor, like take me out like old Yeller. Like,
Yeah, the day I can't
me.
do stuff like on my own, for example, wiping my own ass, showering safely, like when I can't do all these things, I don't really see the point in living.
Man,
And that's just me personally. Like,
I think people live for
wise.
different things when they get older. Because you met older people that like,
yeah,
it's tough for them to get around and stuff, but like they love just playing with their grandkids or
Yeah.
stuff like that, or they have like possible grandkids on the way. Some people want to live to see that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it takes away like the joy of life, because I feel like what makes life like so like is that it is kind of short. It's relatively short compared to everything else. Like, we're 75 years. Like, so I feel like it makes things that much sweeter. If you have 200 years to live, then I feel like and we already take stuff for granted as people. I feel like you would take it more for granted. Like, well, I got another 150 years to go. Like, fuck, who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, you can look at it that way.
And I feel like it just takes away the joy of things. And I feel like it would make people a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not insensitive, but like just, I don't know. Just, it doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem right, especially for people.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just all we've known, so it's not going to feel right.
To go off something you say a lot, time is a very important thing to a lot of people. Like you were saying, if you're getting an extra, the average lifespan is like 70, 75
something like that. Yeah.
And I mean, there's certain occasions, people healthy or people live up to like 100, but to add an extra 100 years to that, and it's like, at that point, one, I mean, just the way the world is going right now, I don't know if we would want to be around for that. Yeah. But at the same time, who knows? It could be awesome.
Could turn around.
There could be flying cars.
What if 100's the new 50? Like, you just feel like you're 50 at 100.
Yeah, now that would be different, because then we're back to our quality of life. It wouldn't feel that bad. You'd be like, oh, crack all the bones and get going.
We'd be the first ones to live to 200. So, yeah, it'd be weird for us. But then, like, the generations behind us, that would just
be what they know.
Yeah.
But also, like, I just feel like we're also overpopulated as people. So like,
as it is,
we already take up a lot of space and we're running out of resources and shit. Like, imagine if we're living another 150 years, 125 years, and
yeah, it's like,
then we're just
It's like, I wonder, did the governments put caps on population at that point, like to try to stop?
I think we just go full force in the colonization of other places. We go to moons or planets.
I mean, if that was the case, I mean, you heard. I think it was like, I'm pretty sure Elon said it, about like wanting to nuke Mars.
Nuke it?
Nuke, yeah.
For what?
Hit the poles of Mars with nukes.
Why?
To make it more because when a nuclear bomb goes off, it changes everything. It changes the whole atmosphere. Yeah. So to make it
pours radiation into it.
It does, but it could also help, I guess, drop the temperature of Mars to at least, in their theory, to make it sustainable for life.
You mean raise the temperature of Mars? Mars is colder than us.
Yes.
Mars is behind us, right?
Yes. Venus and Mercury are the only two in front of us.
Damn. Yeah, no.
Mercury, Venus.
I don't know. Man. I can't. That just seems like a long ass time. Fucking 200 years. I mean, then, like, again, to my point, like, what is the. I guess everybody has their own, like, reasonings and their own purposes of life. But then again, like, then what? Like, are we just like. I just wonder what the end goal of it is then.
I mean, I think the end goal for some people is to live forever.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think, there is certain people, we've talked about it, death is a scary thing to certain people. They don't necessarily fathom it. No one knows what happens. In the good words of Jon Snow. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go in there. It's just, it's just darkness. No one knows really what happens when we die. I mean, there's a bunch of, everyone has their own guess and own opinion about it.
But then once we get to 200, we're going to try and push it to 300 or 500 or 1,000 years. And then what?
I mean, that's kind of what let me look who exactly.
Because then I feel like that's what we're kind of going towards. Not in, like, our, like, human flesh, but, like, the concept of downloading our consciousness and then putting it in, like, like a robot or whatever, like a robot body, and our conscious will continue to live on, because our consciousness doesn't necessarily get old. It's our bodies that age and shit like that. So then do we just move from, all right, we're going to stop making these pills, which, I mean, what we're doing right now is, trying to develop the technology to download our consciousness and just be a conscious and put our consciousness in something.
There was a show on Netflix. I forget what it's called, but
Carbon something.
Yeah.
I think you were talking.
I was the one who was telling you to probably watch it. It was a good show. I'm not gonna lie. Where they basically, it was like little discs was their consciousness. Yeah. And they basically just pop it into, like, the back of a new skin, which would be in the show version, it was like a poor person or whatever the case was. But it was pretty interesting because it was like people could live hundreds and hundreds of years because they were just uploading their consciousness.
This is not a new concept. I mean, the whole point of reincarnation is the thought process that you live 1,000 lives and that your dreams are other lives that you live, and, like, stuff like that. And then, like, I mean, movies have done this forever. Get Out is that. It's a bunch of spoilers. It's a bunch of old white people trying to take over the bodies of younger black men so that they can, live better.
Does that affect poor? Like, I'm not going off of the Get Out, but, like, if we're living 200 years, like, how much more does that separate the rich from the poor, and how much of the, like, middle class is, does it get smaller, and then the poor and the rich just kind of, that's the majority of what everyone is, and the middle class is just going to shrink until it's just, you're either super rich or you're super poor, or, like, well, I mean.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I was looking for. Got myself sidetracked.
I don't know if the super poor divide is going to be what it was. I think that in order for the super duper rich to keep becoming more super duper rich, that they're going to just mask it and just make people feel like they're all middle class. Like, they're going to keep all the wealth to themselves. That's how rich people stay, or powerful stay powerful people.
The scientist that's basically creating this, it's a British scientist named Dr. I want to say
Otto Octavius. Oh
no, it's Andrew Steely. Okay. I believe that's how his last name is pronounced. But he basically says, granted, he claimed medicine to live to 200, but he was like, I don't see why there should be a cap on human life. Like, he was basically saying, how long can we live? Like, he's trying to push the boundaries on it.
Somebody has to. I'm not. Whether it's right or wrong, somebody has to think outside the box in order for.
I mean, that's what that's what gotten us to this point. Yeah. Is that people have pushed the boundaries and pushed the limits, and and I've said this before, is that for everyone that's pushing the extreme to a good, there's always someone pushing the extreme to bad, and that's where it's like, all right, well, if we're living to 200 years, like, where do these extremes end? Like, where do they cap off? I feel like eventually, like, even though we're already heading in that direction, and here in the United States, the average life expectancy is like 70, 75. Imagine if we add on again another 125 years. Like, I just don't see how that ends well.
Oh, well, we have to try. I mean, we don't have to try, I guess.
It's in human nature to try.
Right. Like,
I mean,
we're selfish as a species. We're going to try and live forever. We got to the top of the food chain by a fucking reason.
I mean, it's been
like, we were blessed with thumbs, but so were monkeys. We made weapons.
It's been throughout history of people, wanting to live forever or push the boundaries.
The fucking founder of Florida, good old, and I was in St. Augustine.
Ponce.
Yep, he was looking for the fountain of youth. That is like a.
We have gone through this forever.
I don't get it though. Like
but that is the ultimate goal.
I get it. I get where the like intrigue comes from, but like it doesn't seem like it's satisfying at the end of the day. I feel like the satisfaction again comes to like we know that we have a limited time on this earth, so you got to make the most of it. I feel like
but
if you
that's
take
coming
that
from you, somebody who doesn't have everything. You got to like think that some of these billionaires who have everything.
What more is there to get?
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos probably looks like, other than living forever, like.
Yeah. What else can I achieve? Because he's achieved everything.
I've done
pretty
it all.
Much.
Everything Earth has to offer, I have done.
I mean, think about it. The guy built a rocket so that he could go into outer space just because he can. So it's like, for somebody like that, I can understand why this would be like, oh, let's push this and let's try to get this done. For people like us, like Dennis was saying, I mean, we still have a lot to live and a lot to see in life. But I'm like you. I'm like, why would we want to live forever? My thing is there a cap on who they're going to give this medicine to? Is it going to be for everyone?
Yeah, it'll be like,
is it going to be be the rich live on forever?
What's the movie? I mean, The Day After Tomorrow. Have you guys?
Yeah.
All the rich people buy the line of the cruise. You seen Don't Look Up?
No, it was 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
The rich people have the end of the world to get on Noah's Ark.
The ships.
Don't Look Up. The people who have that are on that fucking Amazon spaceship.
Yeah.
They don't call it Amazon, but
it is.
We get the
we get the metaphors.
We got the point. It's all the rich and political power people that are going to be on those boats.
I mean, they're gonna selectively like choose the smartest people, or the richest, the people that can buy themselves on. And then
first,
the smart,
and then
the physically gifted, things like that. Get the people with the best genes, and then just shoot them off or whatever. Give it to them, so then they're passing on their genes. Because essentially, like, it's gonna be survival of the fittest. That's what.
There's a great movie quote that I see. It's called 99 Homes. It's about the housing crisis in 2009. This guy comes. It's an Andrew Garfield movie, but Michael Shannon's in it, and he has a quote. He was like, Andrew Garfield's looking at him at like this cutthroat businessman who's trying to get to the top of everything, and he's like, "Are you a religious man?" He like nods and he goes, he's like, "You go to church?" He's like, "Only 1 in 100 is going to get on that ark, son. Every other poor soul is going to drown. I'm not going to drown."
That's some real shit.
But that's how those people live. Like
real shit. I mean, you don't get to that point unless you're willing to step over people and shit on people on the way up. And does that make you a bad person? Do you think that makes you a bad person?
If you do bad things to get there, but I think if you pushing to try and live forever, if you're going to take advantage of the things that life hands you, I don't think that makes you a bad person. It may make you a shrewd kind of business person. It kind of, you might be cold, but I don't know if you're inhumane just because you want to, take advantage of what you have.
Yeah, I mean,
like Jeff Bezos. I don't know Jeff Bezos. He doesn't seem like the worst human in the world. Like I know that's the meme. Like he's
like an evil scientist.
Yeah, but
just his
Lex
laugh.
Luger in real life.
Lex Luthor.
Luger's
the producer.
Yeah. Hey, fuck it, making beats out here.
Yeah, but everything America promises you is like it's the capitalist country. Go make $1 for yourself.
Yeah,
he did that to the most extent.
Yeah.
And now he sits on top of the mountain and goes, "What can I do next? Like, I'm going to leave the mountain. Go to a new mountain.
I'm going to build a new mountain somewhere.
I'm going to go to, he went to space just cuz."
Man.
Wow. But back to the point I was trying to make, though. I do understand what you mean because, for example, if this isn't given to everybody, right? Say you're one of the few that are selected. Are you willing to live with that? Because I know death is a part of life. So we're all going to go through tragedies in our life. We're going to have people very close to us die.
Yes.
Or we might be the ones that die, and, you know, people got to deal with that. But if you're given this, for example, you're given this medicine, and it's like you're going to live till 200 years old. No one else in your family got it, though.
I don't want that.
Then it's like you have to live with all of your loved ones, you know, dying. If it was for everyone, that's different, because then it's like
it's kind of like vampire movies. The one thing
I was gonna say movies do this a lot.
The one thing that in any vampire movie is it's a curse living forever, because you see all your loved ones die, and you
cannot love.
Yeah,
you cannot. I mean, you grow attached. But like, how many people have you seen?
And then you grow callous to it, because I mean, if you're living 200 years, how many people that you know that you love,
that's
care
generations
for, that you're gonna
generations
that you're gonna see come and go, and then you never fucking.
One of the best movies I've ever seen is called A Ghost Story. It stars Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's little brother.
Is he as bad as? I'm just playing.
Casey Affleck won Best Actor.
I was just joking.
Actor.
I'm kind of a Ben Affleck hater a little bit. I'll admit it.
He gets in a spoiler.
Like Ben Affleck.
It's a ghost story. He gets in a car accident in the first 20 minutes in the movie, and he dies. And he's in the morgue, and he becomes a ghost. He lifts up, and that's the sheet. Like he literally looks like a ghost the entire movie. He's under a sheet with the holes cut out.
Wow.
But this is the movie. It has probably less than 300 words in the entire movie. It's basically a silent film. You're just watching him, and he just looks over his wife for the rest of her life. But then the next generation comes along, and then the next generation, and then he sees another ghost that's in the house next to him, and life goes on so long. He turns to one of the ghosts, and he's like, "What are you waiting for?" And the ghost that's from the other house goes, "I forgot. I've been here so long."
Dang.
And it's just if you
they're stuck there, basically.
Yeah, they're in that middle. In the beginning of the movie, he chooses if he can go on to heaven or just be a ghost, and he chooses to be a ghost and watch.
Stuck in that middle ground forever.
But then she passes. Other people move into the house, and he's just stuck in this house for.
I feel like
it's literally hundreds of thousands of years.
Damn. Do y'all believe in ghosts?
Not really.
I want to.
I just feel like
I want to.
I feel like people who are hanging on like that, I feel like they don't get the bigger picture of shit. And maybe that's just me trying to make
there's
myself feel like
people who claim, that kind of they felt something.
They felt a presence in the room.
Yeah.
I just did a job actually for a house not even 2 weeks ago. That was I'm pretty sure the nurse that was here saw my father-in-law at the doorway. Blah blah blah. He hasn't lived here for years. She saw him though, and I was like, kind of creepy. Not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tear up the rest of this house though.
But have you ever had I could have sworn I heard somebody's voice.
Yeah, I mean, listen. There's one time I
could have sworn somebody called my name.
There was one time
behind me.
Yeah, I guess.
There was one time when I was younger. Me and both of my sisters. I think my cousin was over there too. I mean, and it was during the summertime, so we were just staying up late. Just doing whatever, and all of us swear we heard someone call us from upstairs, my stepdad. We went and looked, and no one was there. Everyone was fast asleep, and we're little kids fucking shitting bricks. We're over here grabbing fucking pool balls and pool sticks, arming ourselves, protecting ourselves and shit. I think somebody had a fucking thing of perfume to it's I don't know what we were doing, but
it was gonna create the shape around them.
All 3-4 of us heard something, and then there was nothing there. So I don't know if it's
it's because movies have just made us think that if there's a presence that you don't know, it's automatically going to be harmful. Well, chances are ghosts are
chilling
and can't do anything to you.
Or just peaceful souls, just wanting to watch over you or something. Who knows?
But to your point, like you said, in that movie, that they had the choice to go to heaven or stay on earth.
It's pretty heartbreaking when it happens.
Yeah, to me, it's and kind of connecting to the people wanting to live longer. It's what is it that they're holding on to that they want to live forever? Or if you're dead and you have the choice to be a ghost.
It was to look over to the person that they loved.
But if you
that's
know
why
that
he does it. He doesn't know. He learns to regret this decision. In the moment, he just sees his wife. He sees the white light at the end of the hallway, and he turns away from it. And he starts walking back to his house. From the hospital. He leaves the hospital and starts walking back to his house.
And he gets stuck.
And then it's literally thousands of years have gone by, and he's looking for the next portal to open up. Basically,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of. I'm not. I mean, I've never really been somebody that's that gets attached like that, because I don't know. I just feel like when it's time to move on, it's time to move on. And that doesn't mean you've lost any love for anyone or you don't want to see what happens with this person or whoever it is, whether it's family, you know, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a friend, or this or that. I just feel like when it's time to move on, like, it's time to move on. And especially with something so permanent like death.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what you believe in, I do believe that people have a spirit within them, and when they die, that spirit goes.
Yeah,
and I don't know where it goes to.
Somewhere.
I don't know where it goes to, but I feel like it goes. And like holding on to that, I just never really understood like what is the purpose of that? Because I feel like it's more of just like delaying the inevitable, and like you're causing more harm to yourself than you are good.
I think it would too. Like, I mean, I feel like even for humanity's sake, like living 200 years, like what good could that possibly do? Unless it's like somehow the people that, like you said, the top of the top that they let live to 200 are doing nothing but bringing back resources somehow or fixing everything we've fucked up.
If we have the best scientist in the world,
yeah, like
that's
doctors and things like that. Like,
all right, you're the best brain surgeon that's ever lived. You
teach everyone now. That's your goal in life.
Like, you do this until you can't, and then you're passing this along.
Yeah, you pass on the torch. But I mean, I feel like that's partially the reason people go to school and stuff. But imagine if that was the case, and then it's all nothing but like college professors or all 150-year-old people.
I mean, that would be a great concept of college if like you just went to this person who's beyond your realm of
the
wisdom.
Fucking wisest of wise. That would be fucking wild.
I've seen it all.
There's nothing you can fucking tell me that I don't have an answer to, that I haven't seen. That
I think more people would be like, I don't know. In our society nowadays, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like more people would be like, let me sign up to go to college. This person like clearly knows more.
If a teacher, you know, is a 150-year-old master of the subject, like they've been practicing it for 100 years.
But to your point,
some people would be like,
there's gonna be that.
Whatever.
There's gonna be that one person.
I can learn it better.
Like, there's gonna be that one person that's like, what the fuck do you know? Like, you're just an old fuck. Like,
like in his class, just like,
what do you even know? You haven't even done this in 100 years. Are you even
fucking saying anything? Like, that's the thing. That's what kind of like, that's why I push back on it a little bit. It's like, because just the nature of people, like, there's always someone feeling like they're better or they know more when clearly they fucking don't. But ego and vanity and all those, all those selfish things, everyone has it. I don't care if you're the nicest person, whatever. Everyone has that inside of them, and at some point, you've had to overcome that.
Yeah, well, you don't know what you don't know
until
you know it. And like,
oh man, that's such a slippery slope.
You just look at 21-year-old you, and you're like, what a fucking idiot.
And 21-year-old you thought they fucking knew everything.
They were like, I am here now. 18-year-old me was stupid, but I know what's up now.
Yeah, and then even 21 to 23-year-old, you're like, why would I do that?
And we've all go through
25 to.
We've all worked with people older than us before, and they all go like,
you don't know shit, son.
Bro,
go sit down.
When you get to 30, talk. When you get to 25, talk to me. Then you get to 25, and you're like, you're right. Like, I should have listened.
And then
more. I was an idiot.
And then just the gaps in ages keep rising. So they're like, wait till you're this old. Wait till you're this old, because they've been through that.
Yeah, until you catch up in a stage of life with them. Which, if you're 10 years younger than them, I think like 40 to 50 is like. If you're 45 and someone's 55, like, we're pretty much in the same stage of life.
It depends. I mean, if someone, for example, is 55, I don't know. It all depends. If someone's still, like, if it's still people working for the same company, that I could understand.
I'm just, like, more likely to be in the same stage of life than 25, 35. You're two different people at 25 and 35.
I'd say, like, early 30s and, like, still late 30s, that'd be like this. They got to be within the same.
But think about it, early 30s, a lot of people, we know don't have, families, don't have kids. And then by their late 30s, their kids are 4 or 5 years old and they've been married for.
It's also a mindset too, because I mean, we've all met people that are older than us, 5, 10, 15 years, that they still just don't have a grasp on it, and they still haven't been able to figure it out. And they just seem like they're just caught in the same rut and they either don't want to get out of it, or they just they don't have the mental fortitude or the mental capacity to get out of that.
They don't have the know-how.
And it's like, and when I see people like that,
same about younger, because there's younger people that are like,
but the thing with,
they figure that shit out quick. They know themselves. They're aware of their situation. They're aware of how the fuck they need to get out of it.
Yeah,
and they're catching up to your level. And you're like, oh, I'm proud of you.
I feel like the hope is that the older you get, you become more self-aware. You're able to figure things out.
More wisdom.
And not even to like.
Some people just get stuck.
Yeah. Oh man.
Have you ever, I was thinking about that literally today. I was sitting in line at Chipotle. Not related, but I had Chipotle today.
Turn up.
Lucky bastard.
But I was like sitting in there and I was thinking about like just a couple people. They had like relationships, like long-term relationships that they had met this person in high school, and then they broke up or whatever in their like
later 20s or
early 20s, kind of mid 20s, but like they've never like
experienced anything else.
Right, like they're kind of stuck as that same person. They've never kind of grown out of it.
Me and you see it all the time. I mean, we work in labor and construction industry, and you see that all the time. You see older people, in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s that, hey, that's what they want to do, and that's what they're doing. But, like, mentally, they just have not figured it out.
Yeah,
and they're still just kind of, like, they're constantly having issues with family, with friends, with money, and it's just, like, they're just caught in a rut. And they're just caught in a cycle of they can't get out of for one reason or another. And that's the kind of stuff that kind of – it doesn't – I don't want to say it frightens me or it scares me.
It opens your eyes, though.
Yeah, it really does.
I've also that's something I've definitely known for a long time.
It shines a lot of perspective.
I mean, to think about it, I've worked for my dad on and off since I was like 15, but in reality, I started working for him full time when I was 19.
When you were 6. Oh.
Yeah, well, I've been working for him my whole life, but in reality, for the company, I started working at 19 and being, I was the manager at 19. So I'm having people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s that are calling me asking what we're doing today, stuff like this, and there was that initially that why am I going to listen to a 19-year-old kid when I've been doing this 30 years until they see how you work.
You have to prove yourself
because work ethic speaks louder than anything else. Like, I mean, if you're showing these people, listen, I don't give a fuck how long you've been doing it, I'll outwork you every time. They respect that. They're like, all right. But to go off Eric said, I mean, there's people who you would think they're well aged. I'm a man. I'm 40. Fucking doing the same shit. They're like, you going to work or you going to the bar after this? Like, drinking their lives away, or like they're living for the weekend, just partying and shit. And I'm like,
I feel like
my guy, you're 45.
I was gonna say, I feel like we've all worked with people that were like, we've jumped kind of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sense.
Oh yeah.
And just like, I mean, you can be stuck if you want to. Like,
like I'm trying to progress. Like, I'm not. This is cool, but this isn't where I want to be. When it's all said and done, this is not the place I want to be.
And there's a difference between like having a good time. Everyone can have a good time.
I'm
not saying you got to be like work.
Yeah,
work.
you have to have a good time.
But like, don't be comfortable.
Yes.
Once you get comfortable at a spot,
that's what I try to tell people. The goal, at least for me, is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
It's the LeBron James quote.
You want to like push yourself and like try to better yourself. And I mean, it's cliche to say try to better yourself every day. There's going to be a day you wake up, you're like, fuck this.
We all have
take a step back.
We all have phases where we get comfortable, like
correct, or you chill for a period of time. Yes. But as long as you at least know that, okay, I've been comfortable for a little while. I've been comfortable for a little while. I haven't done anything that's pushed me mentally, physically, emotionally. Let me try to do something that might not be in my comfort zone, just to try to get kickstart the engines. Like, oh shit, all right, this is kind of scary, but if it pays off, this is good. And then shit happens, and then you get on a roll, and a lot of shit can happen. And like you said, then you start jumping people that you might have even looked up to. You start jumping those people.
That's a weird feeling.
And you're like,
it is.
Holy fuck.
It is.
It is.
Because when you started,
it's a proud moment.
Especially if you start in an industry. I think we're all being very specific without giving things away. When you start in an industry and you're someone that you look up to just because they've done it, and you haven't.
Yeah.
And they're kind of in a position above you, and I don't know. For me, I always looked at like elder people as like smarter than me.
I mean, you're supposed to respect your elders.
Always. That's kind of how I always was. But then like you get to like a few years into this thing, and you're like,
and you're respected the same way, and you learn a certain thing, and you're like, why the fuck have you been doing this?
If we're even, I'm leaving, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
idols become rivals.
That was a great thing. If we're even, I'm leaving.
I love that quote. Like if I come up to you and I catch you, like,
I'm leaving you.
It's just dust from this point. Like,
you're seeing ass and elbows. I'm gone.
But like, that's a motivating factor for me. It might make me a bad person. I don't
think it does. I feel like it. Like,
I feel like that shows your true character.
And I can't wait to get to a place where I can pull along the next person, because there was definitely people that pulled me along and then helped me along in my journey, and I would love to do that for them. But until that point comes, like it's head down.
And I mean,
it is kind of like sad too. Like it
is a sad feeling when you're like
someone that you look up to, or that was, to your point, guiding you, and then you get to that point, it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
you settled here.
Yeah,
I know, and there's so much more.
Like, I hate this place.
Yeah,
for real.
No, like literally, like not place like a physical location, but I hate the place that my life is at right. Not like hate, but you know what I mean. Like, no, I'm not trying to be here, and you settled here.
Yeah. And I mean, I get there's
get out of my way.
I get that there's like, you know, everyone goes through their own struggles, everyone goes through their own battles. But for instance, like when people, and I mean, this might not be the best one to use because we've all been there and we've all done that. When people are consistently living paycheck to paycheck, you know, like not trying to.
I don't even mean that. Like,
well, I'm just saying it in like, it's different from.
You better have a plan to level up, though.
Correct. It's different from every form, because there's sometimes that's your only way of life. You have to do that. It's hard to catch up sometimes. I've had to do it. I'm sure y'all have had to do it.
I've had to do it.
Yeah, everyone's had to do that at some point in your life. But if that's like, if you're okay with that, I know people that are physically okay with that. They're like, I'm gonna work a couple hours because I got a couple things coming up, but I'll be all right. I got to work next week too. And hey, we're getting our 40 this week, right? Our 40 hours. Yeah. Or I'm gonna try to work Saturday. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, you don't have things stored away. Like, not even like everyone should. I know, like, at least me growing up, it was like, have a few $1,000s, just in case fund. Like,
yeah, they try to teach you that in economics and whatnot.
But like, if you don't even have a plan, if like shit goes sideways, like if you lose this job, you are fucked, bro.
Yeah.
And you don't have anything to bounce back on, and you just like.
Which for the most part, I agree with you guys, but there's also a part of me that's kind of like that admires someone like that, because they're not caught up in the superficial shit. And like, I'm a person that, listen, hear me out. I'm a person that is not like, I understand the value that society has put on money, and I want to live a certain lifestyle, so I have to get a certain amount of money. But to me, money is not really a driving force. If it was the things the money gets you. If it was up to me, like, I would be like, fuck this, like, I'm just gonna go and live my fucking life and just do what the fuck I want. But because of how I want to live, that's just not possible. Again, most of the time, like more times than not, when I see somebody like that, it's just kind of like, damn, bro, like, what are you doing? But then, like, in the back of my head, there's kind of that little voice.
It's a bit freeing.
It is.
It all depends, though. It all depends.
Like, you don't have this mental burden on you.
Yeah.
Correct. But it all depends. Like, if there's...
But I'm
more envy. I'll try to sum up what you're saying, kind of. Like, I'm more envious that I wish I could almost be okay with that.
Yeah.
And not kind of live with this cloud that's over me that's like, you can't.
The fucking societal pressures. That's what that is, essentially. Yeah. I mean, and we all have it.
Yes and
because,
no.
Okay, but listen, what if the societal norm was, you don't need to have any money. Go fucking live your life. Go do what you want to do.
That's fine, as long as
there was
money
wasn't. There was no pressure of there was no pressure of having to be a provider. There was no pressure of having to, because you're of this, you have to live up to this standard. You have to have X amount of dollars and X amount of assets and all this. I mean, imagine how much pressure would be taken off.
But that's communism and socialism.
But
those places they don't live.
When shit's given to you, and like you were saying, if money's not involved, right? Everyone's given the same.
But not even
that receipt is coming on that ass.
Not even given though. Like, just kind of living life.
That is utopia. Like, if you walk into a place and everything is free and there's no money and everyone just kind of lives, no one would take. You would like to think no one would take more than what they need, and everyone just kind of live there. That's just not how the world works.
No, it's not.
We're too capitalist minded. We want to be number one. There's too much ego among people.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I agree 100%.
If everyone's giving out portions of food, I want the most portions.
Yeah. And I agree with you 100%. But just like, there's times that I'm just, kind of chilling, whatever, in my own thoughts, and I think of that. It's like, man, like, imagine how much life easier it would be if there wasn't these pressures that society puts on us, but then in turn, like, we're putting it on ourselves, because there's nobody telling us that we have to do this.
That is true.
It's the pressure that we put on ourselves because we feel like we have to live.
Society, I mean,
we feel like we have to live to a certain expectation.
I mean, a little bit different, but like, I know I quote Kanye West a lot, but like, have you seen the Big Boy interview? When he's like, society,
the newer one?
He goes, we're all slaves. He's like, we're slaves to society. He's like, he was like, you can't go anywhere without your phone. You can't go anywhere without certain things. It's like, you know, we don't have any laws that say you don't need these things, but like if you walked outside without any shoes on, people would look at you fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Or call you
freedom
dead.
is not a real thing. Freedom is not a real thing. Real freedom is just that. Just walking and doing what the fuck you want. Doing whatever the fuck it is you want.
Yeah.
Not being tied and binded to anything.
Yeah, I get. I mean, I'm like you though when it comes to money doesn't drive me. Like I don't work for a different status or to live a certain way, but at the same time, I guess I kind of do.
I do.
I lived, for instance, I love traveling. Like I love doing it.
You live for leisure time.
I love to do that. Like I used to travel a lot more than I do now. Granted, I'm focused on trying to level up again and where I'm at so that I could travel more again. But that was like the main thing that I even worked for when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 was like I didn't want to not being home because I love it here, but I wanted to see the world. I was like, fuck it, I want to go to these different countries. I want to see how different people live. I want to go to these different states. I just wanted to do shit like that. And it wasn't that, I mean, I could have been, one of these people who was just saving and only worked, but I was like, then when it's
Are you working to live or you living to work?
But then it's like when you look back at it all, what do you have? Okay, yeah, you have a big house and a nice car, but where have you been? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Where have I been? I've been to, 10 plus countries.
I kind of want the big house and the nice car.
I want it all, damn it. I want the big house, a nice car, and the travel.
See, I don't
hit that Magic Johnson. I'm taking everybody to Ibiza for fucking a month.
Ibiza is a cool place.
That's a beyond baller. He buys yachts for everybody and just puts them out.
Haven't been there.
In the forts in the south of France and just like this is where we're living.
Stayed at a hostel.
I do. I mean, that is the goal essentially. Like I do want to. Like I said, I want to live a certain life. I want to be able to be comfortable and be okay with being comfortable and push myself because I want to push myself, not because I feel like I'm being forced to.
Right.
And I mean, for me, that's the end goal. I want to be comfortable enough.
It might happen, it might not, because who knows? Maybe when you have kids, then it's like the comfortability. You're not comfortable anymore. You're gonna force yourself to work harder again.
I mean,
it's mentally at that point.
But again, like.
You're trying to do it for somebody else.
Money isn't a driving force. So if I get to that point before I have kids and I have the money that I know I can take care of myself, I can take care of loved ones if I need to, and then kids come into my life, I don't think it's going to, unless I'm in a struggling place and I'm not prepared to take care of a child, that might drive me to go and want to make more money and do that. But if I'm in a place where, money isn't an issue and I'm not struggling, then that's not really going to drive me to want to go work more. I feel like
the problem is kids are so expensive.
Yeah,
most people feel like once they have a kid, in order to keep up their lifestyle and pay for a kid.
Well, see, that's where I was like, and I've said this before. Once I have a kid, like the kid, that is the priority. It's not about my lifestyle anymore.
Correct.
It's about taking care of that child.
Yeah, that becomes your life,
or children, whatever it is. But
yeah,
that becomes your life.
Can we talk UFC real quick?
Quickly,
there's UFC 276, right?
Izzy's the best.
Izzy is not the best. I think Alexander Volkanovski is pound for pound the number one fighter. I think he's better than
that guy. Was very impressive.
It would hit, bro. The way that he handled Max Holloway, and the thing is that Max Holloway is not a slump. He went 5 rounds with him, and he was laying combos. The thing
it was not close.
The thing is that for every combo that Max Holloway was laying, Alexander Volkanovski was laying 4 or 5 combos and just a lot quicker to the punch. And he just you could see that he's kind of like taking his game to the next level.
It was insane to watch.
It really was. It was extremely impressive. Also, Alex Pereira
coming.
Yeah, Izzy's scared of him. Izzy is scared of him.
He's beat him twice. That's going to be the next fight.
Yeah, he's beat him twice. Unanimous decision and knocked his ass clean out.
It was a unanimous decision?
The first time they fought.
He's beaten him
twice. They fought twice.
I thought he got knocked out in training once.
No.
Bro,
I sent you the video today, didn't I?
Yeah,
I think he got knocked out in sparring with him as well.
He might have, but I know he got.
I thought that's what they were talking about. Like they were training.
I'll send you the video because I saw it on Instagram today. But he got knocked. The first time they fought, he lost by unanimous decision. The second, and this is both in kickboxing with boxing gloves.
Yeah.
The second time they fought, he knocked his ass out clean. Like he was fucking all rain or whatever the fuck. What do they call it? Reindeer fucking when they get stiffed up like that and shit. But he
I
was
forget what it's called. Like when your arms are fucking.
Yeah,
what that's called.
He was out.
His nickname is literally Stonehands. Alex Pereira. He's I think he's like. I know he's Brazilian, but he's from not necessarily like
Brazil.
He's from a different part of Brazil that's like from like the Amazon or like.
He's from like he's like descended of an indigenous tribe from the Amazon or something.
So he's like real deal like.
I still want to give Izzy the benefit of the doubt. He's champ for a reason.
Oh no,
he is. The thing with Izzy though,
Izzy's fights have been boring me lately.
And
Izzy's still phenomenal. Like he knows what he has to do to win, and he's just doing that.
And I thought he was like pretty like it was one of the more accurate performances.
It was, but
he was convincingly beating him, but it wasn't
so accurate. He didn't feel like he missed one.
Correct. It wasn't like and Izzy has said it. I'm not out here to give the drunk idiots in the crowd highlights.
But that's what he said before the fight. He said he was going to either choke him out or knock him out.
I know,
and he
that's
says
why
the thing is that if you're going to say these things before the fight, and
then
and then he puts on, which it was a great performance, but then he's not really looking to do it. That's why I'm kind of like, well, then don't say it. Like if you're just
maybe he's just trying to get into his opponent's head.
I mean, he's the champ. Like you said, though, he's the champ. So I mean, people coming up are already. I don't know. It's just his fights. Like I said, they've not been boring me in a bad sense. He's
in that Floyd spot.
I just feel like
I don't know. He's fighting
trying to follow up that performance that Bogdanovsky put on, and it was just like start to finish. Yeah. That he was just so dominant. It was gonna, to your point, it was gonna be hard for anyone to top that. Unless he would have just.
I mean, Izzy only like insignificant strikes. He only lost one round, which was like the third round by like 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Besides that, he dominated him. Yeah, it was strikes.
But it was just like it was just Bogdanovsky was just so dominant.
If they weren't paired one fight after each other, I don't know if we can say it's like I don't know if we would have been as disappointed.
But like I said, I mean, just lately, just because
if it had come directly after the Sean O'Malley fight, you would have been like, that was a way better fight.
Well, yeah,
because he's the best.
But I mean, it's just me personally because I've watched a lot of UFC and I've even watched a lot of Izzy fights. Like he is very technical. He's one of the most technical strikers there is. But just lately, he's been playing. I feel like, or he's been fighting very defensively. He's been worried more about necessarily
winning by points.
Yeah, not necessarily not getting hurt, but like basically just piecing them up, kicking them, keeping them at range.
I mean, he's taking the Floyd Mayweather.
If it's easy enough for him at this point.
Which
he's like, this isn't a challenge for me, so I'm gonna beat you and keep my belt.
I will say
but he's not getting fight of the night performances.
No, he does keep himself busy though. I mean, he's fighting every 4 to 5 months. Like he's putting.
He's not ducking smoke.
Man. Yeah, no, he's
still. I mean, he's still lapping the division, and I mean, he has put away some of the top. You know, he's put away Rob.
Twice.
Well, yeah. I mean, he put him like knocked his ass out once, but he has beat him twice.
That Italian dude, what's his fucking name?
Vittori.
Vittori.
Vittori. Yeah.
He beat
Pablo
him
Costa.
Well,
I mean, that was
they're
once,
not
but
gonna fight again because
Pablo
Costa's a fucking clown.
Yeah, he can't. First off, he's a fucking heavyweight for God's sake.
What did he say? He goes, "You fake ass Ricky Martin."
Yeah, he's a fucking. He should be fighting at light heavyweight for sure, because he walks around at like 220. The fact he cuts down. I
just don't think he's that good.
Wild.
I don't. He just he
looks himself into a fight.
He looks the part.
Nah,
but I don't think he's that good.
That means you haven't watched his fights though, because Paulo Costa is a monster. The only time he hasn't been a monster is when he fought Izzy.
Who did he fight after that?
He hasn't fought since then.
It's been a year or two.
Or no, maybe he fought. Maybe he did fight one more time and he lost. But besides that, I mean, he's a monster though. He was walking people down. I mean, his Yoel fight was crazy, but I mean, even his fights before that, he was fighting the top ranked opponents, and he was eating these people alive.
I don't know. Maybe it's just that
he's a big fucking guy.
It's just the aftermath then, because then he started making excuses, and then he came out and lost again.
That kind of shit on his character a little bit, because when you're making excuses,
he's missing weight.
Yeah,
like shit like that.
Especially after Izzy loses, going for this.
The double belt, light heavyweight,
and then makes no excuses. He's like, "Yeah, I lost."
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the change.
And jumps right back in the ring.
He
dominates his own division.
Yeah, comes right back to 185. Was like, all right, well, this is where I have my belt. I shall defend it more, and he has. He's getting towards fucking record levels.
Yeah, I mean, he probably will go down as the best middleweight of all time.
I mean, he's got a lot of fights to get there though.
He's closing in
than Silva.
He's closing in on Silva.
Not his champ record, I don't think. On his win streak, maybe. But
what about impact? What does that matter? I feel like Silva was the face of the UFC.
Well, he was, but it was also a different time then. Like,
the UFC is it's so much bigger.
Yeah, I'm not saying like quality of fighter because like
MMA is just so much bigger now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was on the back end. Like, obviously, he still beat him. Like, not taken away, but he was definitely on the back end of his career, and like, it was more of a passing of the torch fight.
Correct.
Than
everyone knew what it was.
Exactly.
In there.
So, but you know, who knows? Maybe he comes out, he beats this Alex Pereira guy, and fucking beats him handily, and
if
shuts
he can
everyone
somehow
the fuck
knock
up.
him out, then I'll be like, Izzy, I'm sorry.
Kudos. But like I said, in my opinion, I think Volkanovski is the pound for pound number one. Given his last performance, I don't think Kamaru Usman is really looking for any type of smoke.
Does he have an injury?
No,
he's fighting Leon
Edwards, which I don't really think that's going to be a good fight either.
It's a striker versus a wrestler, so I mean, it's
always lean towards wrestler.
Although Usman has definitely, every time he comes out, his hands do get better, and he's more willing to stand there and strike and hit. But
he is.
I don't know. It's just
gonna be. I mean, we're still gonna watch. Like, I'm not gonna never not watch.
Of course.
But it's a fight that I'm interested
any
about.
Given Sunday night.
Saturday night, you mean?
The saying is any given Sunday for football.
Yes, you never know. And a fight is a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Sean Strickland's case.
Oh my god!
But he played into that so bad.
But he was talking that shit the whole time. That's what he was gonna do.
But he knows better than the fight. You know, like I mean, granted, Sean Strickland, he is a striker too, though.
Yeah. Oh my god!
He's a striker too, but he knew like he was
he's
talking.
Not a striker like that.
He was talking like I shouldn't. Why would I stand up and strike with a striker like this? And then he stands up and strikes with him, and that's what happens.
And he got fucking, oh my
knocked
god, that
shit
shit came out of nowhere too. It looked like with ease too, a fucking nice little left hook, boom.
It's
and
usually
then bopped him on the forehead on the way down.
Usually the cleaner shots that I mean, you saw with like Charles and Michael. It's the clean,
Bop.
Left hooks get you. Yeah. You don't see him coming, and
placement is key.
Good
placement is key. But that's it. I mean, like I said, I feel like Volkanovski's pound for pound number one. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. He was talking about going up to 155 and trying to be a double champ. I feel like he's getting better every time he comes out, and it shows. So I'm excited to see what's going to go on with that. 155, there's still the belt's still vacated.
Well, now what? He's got, I think he's got 5 title defenses now.
Volkanovski, yeah.
Because he's got 3 from Max, and then he fought Korean Zombie and Ortega.
Who's his one loss to?
This was before he ever. This might have been amateur, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the UFC.
Damn, that's insane.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. And to put it on perspective, he's like 5'6". He used to play rugby and was like 215.
5'6", 145.
Yeah, he used to play rugby and was 214.
Yeah, his one loss was in Australia.
Oh, there you go. So
his 4th career fight, he got TKO'd.
He hasn't looked back since. I mean, Max Holloway, their second fight, he did drop him twice.
Yeah, Max Holloway still, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I did think Max won did enough to win that second one, but he didn't. And this third one, he got pieced the fuck up.
Not close.
But I will, like I said,
not close.
Max Holloway, I feel like it was more impressive because anybody else, if it's anybody else besides Max Holloway, they're not going the whole fight. They're not going the distance.
That's what Rogan and DC were saying.
The fact that he was in shape enough and it was still like, although it wasn't enough, he was still laying combos and hitting him.
Oh, you're talking about Max?
Max Holloway.
Max has got the heart.
He's
never been dropped.
It just shows how much above everyone else he is right now. Yeah,
it's true, but I'm just saying Max Holloway is a different breed. He's never been dropped.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like
He has the most absorbed shots without ever being.
And Max Holloway's beating anybody else in that division. I feel like pretty handily too.
Yeah.
Except Volkanovski because
But he's not gonna. So yeah, Volkanovski's not gonna vacate that belt, and I don't know how.
He said he wants to keep it busy.
Yeah, he's gonna keep both. He wants to keep both divisions busy. But me personally, I told you this in the car. Charles is waxing that ass.
He's not waxing his ass.
We'll see. He would.
I don't think
if he goes up.
Well, Charles Oliveira is already saying that if Conor wants to fight, that's who he's getting.
Yeah, no shit. I would sign up for $20 million too.
I mean, my favorite quote from Charles was
he will fucking sleep Conor. That's who he was saying.
Yeah, no shit.
He was saying
Conor hasn't had a real fight in 6 years.
He was saying he wants to fight Islam in Brazil though.
Yeah.
He said he was like, fine, you guys want me to fight Islam so bad? I'll fight Islam in Brazil. And when I beat him, I'm calling out Khabib.
Yeah.
He was like, I respect Khabib, but I'm gonna fuck up his boy. because he's retired and he's talking all this.
You see who Habib
This
called
is your champion.
You see who Habib called out?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
He was like, I could take him down.
They were like, who do you want to fight? Anybody in the world? He's like, Michael Jordan.
No shit. His knees are probably shot.
Yeah, in his fucking late 50s. Well, with all that being said, appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.
Catch y'all next time.
Signing out. Everybody love everybody. See y'all next week.
Peace.
With a longer episode. Peace.